there are precursors that you can certainly see in some of your earlier films, and you grew up a big fan of the genre.
Sure.
And when you talk about how it is not terribly respected, I find it very frustrating. I think there are truly great pieces of art that are horror films.
No, it's a really bad. I mean, it's really a drag, because even sometimes, I don't want to name names, but I'll be watching an actor on like the Today Show or something promoting their film, and they act embarrassed that they're in, not a movie that I made, but other movies. I'm like, why would this person be on Good Morning America, kind of going like, oh yeah, I've got this movie coming out, but I'm doing this other. Like, they always want to change the topic. Nobody want, unless you call it, a psychological thriller and it becomes Silence of the Lambs. For the most part, everyone's like, oh, take it off my resume.
On this film, you say that you had complete contractual freedom, which is obviously working in something as personal and as not down the middle as this. Lords of Salem has its own way of telling this story and its own world that it's building. You really have to have that sort of protection, but you earn that through the hits. When you did the Halloween remake and the Halloween sequel, to some extent, does that then buy you the freedom for the rest of your career? Because those were so big?
No. You would think that, no, you wouldn't think, but after I did Halloween, I figured Halloween 2 would be easy. Because I thought, okay, Halloween 1, love it or hate it, was a big hit. Yeah. It was the biggest movie Dimension it had in a long, long time. They were happy, yada, yada, yada. So that was a nightmare to make. It was really torturous. They're up my ass every 5 seconds. So I thought, okay, they should go, okay, we're happy now. Give him enough rope to hang himself in the second one. The second one was worse.
Really?
Because now they figure, you're going to fuck up the formula. I'm like, yeah, but it's my formula. And they literally would do funny things like show me the trailer to Halloween 1 and go, see those shots? That's the type of shit we're looking for. I go, I know, this is my movie. Those are my shots. And they're the shots that you hated before the opening weekend, and it made a lot of money. So, no, never. And you never get it. Only on this movie it was contractual, but, the next movie it won't be. It's a luxury few have. Well, I just got lucky to have it once.
And I think the world of international financing has changed dramatically. That's one of the reasons that I'm really glad Lords was made, is it is not based on other material. It is not a remake, and it's not a found footage movie. And it seems like at this point, those are really all that they're making.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, the great thing and the bad thing about a movie like Paranormal Activity is, it wasn't made for much, even though in post it cost a lot more than I like to let on, but whatever. Still, it was made very cheaply. So now that was made for whatever a dollar amount, and it made a lot of money, that is now in their minds, this is how much every horror movie costs. Mm-hmm. $2 million, well, maybe it's probably dropped to $1 million by this point, but that's it. Doesn't matter what story you're telling, what it is, it's the same amount. And that's the problem, It's like, once they know you'll work for this amount, they don't want to pay you more. They're like, oh, well, you're going to work for that forever. And that was the tricky part, and that's happened across the board with horror movies. I know that's happening. Well, I don't want to. I should keep my mouth shut because I know too much about certain things. But there's certain sequels to other franchises that you think they would be making by now, except now they want to make them for no money.
Yes. In terms of the other work that you're doing now, it feels like you are branching out. Some of the other film projects, some of the other things you're trying. It feels like you are experimenting, and that it's not what people would necessarily think of as the Rob Zombie brand, but that things you're interested in.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just have this thing where I don't like to be part of anything. And it was as soon as, I think it was around the time of, I don't remember, but it was around the time Halloween came out, and someone said, oh, the Splat Pack, and they named all the people. They said, what are the new? I was like, I'm done. Count me out. I don't want, as soon as, it's that old joke, but I don't want to be part of anything. So as soon as I feel like I'm pigeonholed as something, I have to find a way to get away from it, because by the nature of being a director, I think you just want to be off to yourself thinking and not feel like, hey, we're part of this big group. I mean, I don't function good in groups anyway, but.
Here's a business question. Obviously, the word that every horror financer looks for is franchise.
Yeah.
Lords of Salem feels like when it's over, it's over. This is kind of an apocalyptic feeling ending. If they pushed you, is there someplace else that you would want to go with the situations of the characters?
No, I think it's done. I mean, I like the idea of things ending.
I do too. It's rare to hear somebody say that.
I really do. I mean, it's always tempting to do more because it's such a sequel culture, and franchise culture, but I hate that feeling. I'm sure everybody does. Well, you invest 2 hours in something and it goes, great setup for the next one.
Exactly.
There's no feeling. I mean, there used to be a feeling when you watch anything, like you'd be devastated by the ending of Taxi Driver or Bonnie and Clyde or something. Like, whoa, Not like, let's go see the crazy adventures of Travis Bickle next summer.
Right.
You know?
Your horror influence has played a huge part in your music career, and certainly it's something that you express through the music. The new album is that the Rob Zombie that we've come to know in terms of that sort of that world, and how much of the ideas that you're playing with while you're doing Lords of Salem, did you get it all out of your system? Is any of that a spillover that you want to continue to express an idea or find a way through the music?
Well, I think really, I hadn't really thought about it, but people have been asking that question. I think really the spillover is that when I was making Lords of Salem, since I had the freedom, I had a fuck it, I'm going to do whatever I want attitude. And I've always had that vibe with the music, but since the music business has changed so much, it seems like as soon as you don't give a shit, I mean, you care about the work, but as soon as you don't give a shit about how it's received or how it sells or what it does, it always seems to be when you do your best stuff. So that attitude sort of spilled over into both.
I wanted to say that this is, it feels like you have continued to evolve, but you've been able to work with some of the same people on each film. Is that important to you in terms of below the line people that you trust, being able to better express what you're trying to do with each of the films?
I mean, you're always trying to assemble a great crew. That is always the goal, you know? And as the years go on, it just works. You know, now I feel like maybe not every position, but it's amazing how hard it is to find good people. Because sometimes people's resumes are all bullshit.
Right.
You know, oh, those are great credits. They come to the set and you're like, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know how to do anything. And then this guy's done nothing and he's a fucking genius. You know, like when I hired Brandon, the cinematographer for this film,
it's gorgeous.
When I saw his reel, he had nothing on his reel. He literally had, I got him for Halloween 2, that's where it first came from. He had a bunch of little things, but he had one shot that I said, that one shot and that one thing I like. If you can make the whole movie look like that, you're in. And you know, and he is. He's a super talented guy. I mean, he's pretty young.
I was on another set when he's fast, which I think is also terrifically important.
No, he's super fast because it's really weird. Because I worked with a cinematographer once that had worked on Full Metal Jacket, and I wanted nothing more than to take a fucking hammer and hit him in the back of the head. He was the most condescending fucking asshole all the time on set. Literally, the crew mutinied. They all walked off. They threw their shit down and left. Like, I can't walk with him. Nobody could understand him because his accent was so thick, but it just went to show. I don't know who shot that movie, but I couldn't, it was just so weird. The credits were like impeccable, but the work was gone the fuck.
So thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for participating in a conversation with Rob Zombie. Rob, thank you so much for coming to Austin, for being part of South by Southwest.
Thank you.